when we're factorizing, we're going to think about our hierarchy of factorization. The most important thing that we always have to start with is if there is a highest common factor, we have to take it out. Okay, it's not an option. If there's a highest common factor, we're taking out a highest common factor. Why? Tiana, we're always happy to have you here. Okay, so first option, highest common factor. Then either we've taken out the highest common factor or there wasn't a highest common factor. We're going to say if there are two terms, okay, can we do dots? So dots is difference of two squares. So that's when we have two square numbers and there's a minus sign in between them. Okay. Hi, Boho. Next, we're going to say, are there three terms? Can we do a trinomial? Okay. We're going to say, do we have any common brackets that maybe we could take out? If we don't have a common bracket, but we have something super close, could we do a switcheroo? So these are sort of the things that we think about when we're factorizing. We think about it in like a hierarchical order like this. Okay, so if we have a look at this first question over here. Firstly, we've got these two terms and we need to make it one. So we're going to say, can we take out a highest common factor? When we take out a highest common factor, we first look at our numbers. So of those two numbers, I've got 32 and I've got 50. What is the highest common factor of 32 and 50? What is the highest common factor of 32 and 50? So don't worry about the variables just yet. What is the highest number that can go into both 32 and 50 without a remainder? 2. Perfect. Lunonta, well done. Okay, so we're going to take 2 out. Then we're going to look at our variables. So we've got a cubed over there and we've got an a over there. So we always take the one which has the smallest variable. So we're going to take the single a. And we're going to look at our b's. We have no b's in the first term and we've got a b squared there. Now, because we have no b's here, we can't take out b as a highest common factor. So we're left with just 2a. That is our highest common factor. Now we write what we will have left in our brackets. So 32 divided by 2 will give us 16, and we'd need another a squared. 50 divided by 2 is going to be 25. We've got the a sorted, but we would need a b squared. Okay, now remember, you can always check yourself and make sure you're right by re-multiplying that in, and you should get those two answers over there. Okay, so that's our first part. If you can get to this part over here, you would already be sitting on 2 marks, one for your highest common factor and one for the bracket. All right, next we're going to say inside this bracket, we can still factorize further because it is difference of 2 squares. So we're going to keep our 2a. We're going to get our 2 brackets for our difference of 2 squares over here. We're going to have a plus sign and a minus sign. We're going to square root our first term. So 16a squared square rooted is going to give us 4a. That's going to chill at the top of both of those brackets. And then we're going to square root 25b squared, which is going to be 5b. And that's going to chill over there. And we're going to get 1 more mark for those 2 brackets over there. So this question would be out of 3 marks. How do we feel about this type of question? If you have anything you don't understand, please ask. Just put your hand up or put it in the chat for me, but let me know. Spocha, I'm sorry that that's happened in your exam. Only 1 mark. It's okay, Tiana. So for these ones, the most important thing is to look at your mark allocation. So if the question is out of 3 marks and you're only doing 1 step, you know you haven't done enough. And then see what other things can you do to factorize further. Okay. If there's anything about this question that you are not understanding, please feel free to ask. Use this time to ask questions, guys. You're the ones writing exams. If you have a question that is burning on your mind, let me know. I'm happy to sidetrack for a little bit. Yeah, I know you're all revising and getting ready. So there is, but I think if you were working, you would probably, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They probably would have asked you to split it into some kind of shape. How would they have wanted you to split it up? Let's think. They would have had to give you some kind of information somewhere. So if it's a polygon, they have to tell you what type of polygon it is. But that's okay. I'm going to stop questioning because Tamilo, your math paper sounds like it was a joy. Okay, let me just grab this here. Okay, so if we're looking at a pentagon. Okay, so a regular, any type of regular polygon means that all of your sides are the same as each other. So like a regular triangle would be a nice, an equilateral triangle. Okay, so this is meaning that all of those would be the same as each other. I'm trying to think how they would want you to work this out. I think probably would be to work out the area of this trapezium over here, and then to work out the area of that triangle and add those two together. That's what I would assume that they would want you to do. Alternatively, it's made up of the triangle. So trying to think of if you had like a center point, these triangles would all be the same as each other. So if you can find out the area of one of those triangles, so basically if you had the base and you worked out that perpendicular height, then there would just be 5 of those triangles. So essentially, if this was the base and that was the height, you could say 5 times half base times height. They only give you the length, which was 6. Okay, but it's a pentagon. So because it's a pentagon, it means that all of your sides are the same as each other. Okay, so if this is 6 over here, then that means that this would be 6 and this would be 6 over here. So then you could do Pythagoras to find that. So that would be 3. So square root of 6 squared minus 3 squared would give us 5.2. So I think your area would be 5 times half times 6 times 5.2. That would be my best guess. 5 times half times. So I'd get 78. Is what I get. I don't know if that's right, but that would be my best guess in this situation. Hopefully that helped someone. I think what we should do is we should jump straight into some fractions though. So some of these are going to be, your worries are over, no problem. Some of them are going to feel like a little bit easy, but I just want to slowly sort of ease you in. I just want to have a look at this one, and then we're going to look at some trickier ones after this. Okay. So if you're having a look at this question here, who has a suggestion of how I could go about simplifying this question? What would be, what's our first step? What is the first thing we're going to do? I'm open to all suggestions. Okay, so LCD generally is definitely not like a bad suggestion because you're seeing a fraction. We're only going to look for an LCD if we have addition of fractions or subtraction. Yes, so Tamila, we are going to simplify, but how would we simplify? How would we simplify this? We have to do something in order to simplify it. Or what do you think the answer is going to be? Like, we can start there. You can pop the answer in the chat for me. Let's see if anyone falls for the trap. What would my answer be for this question if we were told to simplify in the exam? What would you get? Okay. Keep those answers coming, guys. Doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. I'm curious to see what people would do. What would be the easiest thing for me to do in this type of question? Okay. Oh, my cat has come to join us. He is being very needy. He came in the last lesson as well. Okay. So as soon as we're dealing with a fraction question like this, where we've got two terms either at the top or at the bottom, and we're needing to simplify, generally, and you don't have to do this because we could actually just divide through distribution, which would be the same. But generally, like a good rule of thumb, if we just stick to this, we will always be safe, regardless of the question, is to factorize. And if we factorize, then we're making it one term and then we can cancel. So if I'm looking at my numerator over here, I've got 3x plus 9. I can take out an HCF of 3. So I can take out 3 and I would be left with x plus 3. And that's all going to be over 3. And then once I've done that, those 3's can cancel. And so my final answer would be x plus 3. The most common mistake in a question like this is for people to cancel out those 3's. So to have 3x plus 9 over 3 and then say that those cancel. And so your answer is x plus 9. But that is wrong. Okay. You definitely could have just done this by saying 3x divided by 3 and then 9 divided by 3, and you would have gotten your answer of x plus 3. So if that was how you saw it and how you wanted to do it, that is 100% fine. But general rule of thumb is factorize, because if you factorize, you're sort of guaranteed to get it right. Okay. So this is as simple as these types of questions can get. We're going to go into some trickier ones just now. And then we will have a quick brain break and carry on going. Let's try this one. Okay. So the only information you would be given in this question is you would be told to simplify. So I want you to work this out. I'm telling you it is out of 4 marks. Let's see who can get 4 out of 4, or at least close to 4 out of 4. So do it step by step, do it really nice and slowly. Look at your numerator, think, what can I do to that numerator? Look at your denominator, think, what can I do to that denominator? Think about the steps that we've been talking about with factorization, and go from there. And if you need help sort of along the way, if there's stuff that you're not understanding, you're welcome to pop a question. You can either send us a direct message, send it to you, Linda, or to I, or you can just pop your hand up and we can talk about it. There's very few of you because lots of people have finished exams already. So if you're wanting to ask, please don't feel stressed. You're welcome to ask. That's why we're here. Okay.
We can do this, my pibs. Let's go.
As soon as you've got an answer you're happy about, pop it in the chat for us. Give us an idea of when you're finished, so that we don't rush you. Okay. Let's see. So at the top, what we're looking at is we have a trinomial. Okay. And when we're dealing with a trinomial, we want to look at our constants and we want to find its factor pairs. So I've got 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. I'm wanting to get the answer of positive 1. So I'm going to have negative 3 plus 4. So negative 3 plus 4 gives me positive 1. Okay, so that tells me what my brackets are going to look like. So I'm going to have x minus 3, x plus 4. That's my numerator. All over. Now I'm going to look at my denominator. I've got x squared minus 9. That's dots. So I'm going to have 2 brackets. I'm going to have a plus and a minus. I'm going to have an x and an x and a 3 and a 3. So my marks so far, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3 marks up until that point. That is where the bulk of the marks are. How are we sitting up until that point? Were we able to get 1, 2, 3? Where are we at right now? I feel like everyone should have been okay with the x squared minus 9. Sometimes the trinomial can be a bit tricky. But let me know how we're doing up until this point. Just 2 out of 3. Not bad, not bad, not bad. It's okay, Alicia, don't panic. Remember, that's why we're here. So that we don't do this in our test. So that we can talk about why it is what it is. Nice job, Samkelo. Okay, so this is like the first part of our question. And then we just need to finish it off. So now that everything is one term, we can say, I'm going to use a highlighter so that you can still see what's underneath it. This x minus 3 is the same as that x minus 3. So they're going to cancel each other out. Okay, so what I'm going to be left with is I'm going to be left with x plus 4 at the top. And I'm going to be left with x plus 3 at the bottom. Okay, now what a lot of people would do at this point, a lot of people, can I just say, is they'll take those x's and they'll just cancel them. So they'll be left with the answer of 4 over 3. But we are not allowed to do that because that's canceling across terms. That's why I kind of recommend you just leave these guys in their brackets, because you'll be like, okay, well, if I can't cancel the whole brackets, I can't cancel the whole brackets. That right there, that is my final answer. And if you wrote another step after it that said 4 over 3, you wouldn't get this last mark. So that mark there is only allowed to be given to you if that's where you stop. And so then in the end, this question would be out of 4 out of 4. So Alicia, all that's happening for this first step is we looked and we said, well, that's a trinomial. And so we factorized that trinomial to give us the x minus 3x plus 4. And down here, we factorized by using difference of two squares to give us the x plus 3x minus 3. So basically, you got 4 out of 2. How does that work?
That's 200%.
Okay. Hey guys, if you want to take a screenshot, please feel free to take one. You left. Oh my gosh, I have terrible news for you. If you left out the blue part, you would get nothing. You wouldn't even get 1 mark. If your answer was only the yellow, so if you only wrote that top yellow line, they wouldn't even give you those 2 marks, because you're saying that this fraction is becoming a single line, and that's mathematically unsound. So they would stop marking. Marula, it's because when we are in an exam or in a test situation, our brains are working on overdrive and they're in like panic mode. So it's very difficult for them to think clearly and calmly. So don't be hard on yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Let's quickly go to our brain break and take a little bit of a break from this, and then we'll jump back into some more fractions afterwards and see how we can go. Hopefully we can get into some multiplications and divisions. So today, Brian has brought you a maths treat, but my advice is, look at everything very carefully. Very carefully. No one was able to figure out all of the tricks in the last class. Someone was able to figure out most of them, but not all. So let's see if we have a little brain buff in this class who's able to figure out every single one of the tricks. You have seen something similar to this before, but it's a little bit different, very, very slightly different. Yeah, let's see. See how you do. I am looking for the answer to my question mark. Oh, that was way too quick. That is a guess. If I've ever seen one, that is a guess. Let's see who can figure this out. Don't fall for the traps. No one's right just yet. Nope. Mm-mm. No, don't tell them. No, 19, 10, no. 37, no. Charles, hello. Just need to unmute on your side. 17, no. 24, no. No one's gotten this right yet. I'm gonna have to take you out to your misery just now. Tabocha, what's your answer? Zero, no. $84, no. Yeah, okay, that's one trick. That's one of them. Okay. No one is getting this. I'm so sad.
Let's go,
hold
my
on. Okay,
pebs.
okay. Simpiwe and Mom, holding on. I'm holding on.
Y'all
Ah!
can get this.
Simpiwe, you're correct.
Wow.
If you could talk me through how you got that, I will be very, very stoked. Let's see. The answer is definitely right. So Simpiwe is 100% right. It is 26. Let's see if we can agree on the steps to get there. I think because of our time, I might need to just talk you guys through this one. But I do definitely give you Brian's crown for today. Oh, so Simpiwe, if you don't mind just like putting your hand up for me and then I can unmute you. Or I can even just find you here. Okay, you should have gotten a notification to unmute.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, okay, tell me how you got your answer.
Okay, so the caterpillar is 6, and then 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 21.
6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 21.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it?
Isn't the caterpillar 6, ma'am?
No.
Ah,
But I love the confidence. Alicia, what can you tell me?
Ma'am, the worm is 7. 7 plus
Okay.
7 plus 7
7
is
plus 7
21.
plus 7. Okay, yeah.
And then the clock is 6. So
Okay.
6 plus 6 plus 7 is 19.
Okay.
And then the flower is 2. 2
Yeah.
plus 6 plus 7 is 15.
So I'm happy
saying,
up till this point.
So saying 7 plus 2 times 6 is 14 times 6, you get 84. But then the last thing, there's 2 flowers there, so
Okay.
meaning that it's 2, it means it's equals to 4,
Okay, that I'm happy with.
which equals 86.
But I'm not happy with your caterpillar and your clock.
Why?
Well, let's see if someone can figure out what's wrong with it.
Alicia, you're nearly there.
The flower I'm definitely happy with. There's 2 flowers, so there's 2 of them. But I am telling you that that clock is not 6, and I'm telling you that that caterpillar is not 7.
Guys, check the clocks. Check the different clocks. Can you see the
Soprano,
final?
can you tell me something about this clock?
Let's go, my pigs.
Hello? Oh, I can't hear you. That's so sad. I can't hear you. Yes, Simpiwe, the clock is 5. The clock has changed time. The clock was 6 over here, and now the clock is 5. Okay, good. So far I'm happy with that. I'm happy with this 4 times 5 chilling down here. Now I need to know what my caterpillar is. My caterpillar is not 7. Good, Simkelo. It does not have a flower on the head, but it's not 5. Simpiwe, it is 6. Yes. Okay, let's talk about why. So first of all, like was said in the chat now, the caterpillar doesn't have a flower. So that flower there was 2. okay? And then we had to count the segments of our caterpillar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our caterpillar was 7 because it had 5 segments and a flower. This caterpillar doesn't have a flower, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments. So that's going to be 6. So it's going to be 4 times 5, which is 20, 20 plus 6, which is 26. And that's our answer. And now we're done. Oh, you were very close though. I think, Alicia, you were the closest, and then something just didn't catch all the tricks in the last line. Nice job, guys. Yeah, you needed to be super observant. There were lots and lots and lots of tricks here. Okay, let's go into some fractions. I want to delve into some nasty ones. I want us to look at stuff like these. Let's start with this one. Okay. So now what we are dealing with is we're dealing with 2 fractions. We've got a multiplication sign in between, and we're going to have to do some things before we can cancel. Whenever you're in a situation like this, your first thing that you have to do is factorize. Okay, I can't factorize my 4 and my 8. They are whole numbers. There's nothing I can do, but I can factorize the 2 parts that I've highlighted for you. So your first goal in this type of question is just to factorize those 2. So you're going to factorize that numerator and you're going to factorize that denominator. And let me know what you get. So just factorize those 2. Let's see how we go from there. So we'll sort of do this one like a little bit step by step, so you can see how the process works. But at the moment, all I want you to focus on is factorizing those 2. And yes, absolutely, you're going to take out a highest common factor. Is there anything I can do to a plus 3? If there isn't, I can just put it in brackets. Just think about things like that. Just going to give you a couple more seconds to think about what to do in this first step, and then we'll do it on the board together. Okay. We're going to look up here. It's 4a squared and the 12a. So my highest common factor there is going to be 4a. And I'm going to be left with a plus 3. Okay, that's all over 8 times 4. Now this a plus 3 down here, there isn't anything I can do. So when there's nothing I can do, I can just put it in a bracket like that. So basically, I'm just hugging it together so that it's closed. So all I did in that first step was I factorized. That's the only thing I did. Now the next thing I can do is I can start looking at what can cancel. All right, now we can always cancel tops and bottoms. So that a plus 3 can cancel with that a plus 3. If you feel uncomfortable with cross simplifying your numbers, you can do it a little bit of a longer way. You can say 4a times 4 is going to give me 16a, and I'm dividing that by 8. And then my final answer is just going to be 16 divided by 8, which is 2. And so that would be my end answer. Marks here, you would only get, you maybe get 2 for that factorizing over there. And then you'd probably get 1 mark for the 2a. So this one would be out of 3. How did this question go? Did it go well? Did it go badly? Did you see what you did wrong? Did you not? Do you have questions? Let me know how this question went. Yeah, sure. I can absolutely. Okay. So when we're looking at this, the first thing we want to do is, because we have 2 terms, we're wanting to factorize. Okay, so by factorizing, we're going to look at our numbers first. We've got 4 and 12. So the highest number I can take out from 4 to 12 is 4. And then we're going to look at our variables. We've got a squared and a. We always take this one with the smallest exponents. I'm going to take out a. I'd be left with a plus 3. Okay, so that's just my numerator up there. That's all over 8 times by 4 over, and I'm going to put this in a bracket because I can't factorize it, a plus 3. For the question that came in with the direct message, we only flip the second fraction if this is a divide sign. If that is a divide sign, then we absolutely change it to a times and we flip the fraction. I'll make sure we do a divide one next. Now that I have factorized, I can see what can cancel. So that a plus 3 can cancel with that a plus 3. Then I'm going to look at my numerators. So I've got 4a times 4. That's going to give me 16a. My denominator is just an 8. So that's going to be over 8. And 16 divided by 8 is 2. So my final answer is just 2a. And that's where we would stop. Any other questions about this one? Good, 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 good. Okay. Let's
Nailing everything, my fibs.
try this
Oh,
guy.
okay. We realized like easy.
So this one is like what we were just talking about. So this one's got a division. So we're going to have to think about what that division is going to become, what we're going to have to do to our second fraction. You're going to need to factorize this guy for me. And you can factorize it first. So I almost recommend you factorize it first. And once it's factorized, then you can flip it. You don't have to. It's up to you what you feel more comfortable with. I would probably factorize it all first and then deal with the division sign. I know sometimes we want to do more steps than, like we want to do it quickly because we're stressed and we're in an exam. We want to get it done. But if we rush things, often we make silly mistakes. So sometimes taking it a little bit slower can help us in the long run. Okay, getting some answers in. That's great. Keep them coming. I'll give you 1 more minute, and then I'm going to go through this one for you. And then hopefully we have time for maybe one nasty one. And already the end of our Tuesday. We'll have to see. Okay, so my first step here is I'm just going to factorize and I'm going to pop this in brackets. Okay, so I'm going to say x over x plus 1 divided by 4x squared over, now I'm going to take out a highest common factor of 3x, and I'm going to be left with x plus 1. Now, if you forgot about that plus 1, you need to give yourselves a little smack, because if we don't have it, then we have not factorized properly. Okay, that is step 1. To get our marks here, we would have gotten a mark for the 3x and a mark for the x plus 1. Now we are going to deal with this division sign. So we're going to keep the first fractions. We're going to do KFC. So we're going to keep the first fraction. We're going to flip the second fraction, and we are going to change the sign. Okay, so keep the first fraction, x over x plus 1. we're going to change the sign. We're going to flip the second fraction. And we're going to get a mark for doing that. Then we're going to see what can cancel. So that x plus 1 can cancel with that x plus 1. Now, again, you could do cross cancelling here, but if you don't feel comfortable with that, that's fine. We can just multiply our numerators and look at our denominators. So our numerators, we've got x times 3x. That's going to give us 3x squared. And our denominators, we've got 4x squared. So those x squareds are going to cancel, and we are left with the answer of 3 over 4. We need another mark for that. So then this one would be sitting out of 4 marks. How did this go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. How did we do in this question? Nice job. Try and see if you didn't get the final answer, if you understand where you went wrong. And if you don't understand where you went wrong, just pop your hand up and ask, and we can talk through it. Nice job, guys. Nice job. Okay. All right, let's try and do one more before the end of tonight. Let's end on this one. Okay, so same idea. Factorize everything. Look at your division sign. Do what you need to do to that division sign. Cancel what can cancel. Get your final answer. And let's all try to at least get 1 mark more than what we got if we didn't get 100% in the last one. Let's see how this one goes. And remember, guys, if you're feeling lost during this, just ask questions. You don't have to ask everyone. You can send me a direct message. I'm happy to just answer you that way. I'll probably answer you verbally, but I won't use your name if you send a direct message.
Exactly. And you are just only 21 people, so no competition at all. You can ask as many questions as you want.
Yeah, why would we have like these full classes, do all the hands go up, and we never get time to go through everyone's hands? And now we have a nice small class that everyone is sitting quiet as a mouse.
Exactly. I also don't understand.
I won't be able to fully re-explain the previous one just because of our time, but remember that these videos are all recorded and they will be online within 24 hours of this lesson. And so then you can re-watch that question and you can watch it as slowly as you'd like, and you can pause wherever you need to pause, and yeah, and then to go from there. All right, guys, I'm going to give you 1 more minute on this question, and then I'm going to start explaining how to go about it. But let's see if you can get it finished in time. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to go through this step by step. First thing we're going to do is factorize. We're going to factorize that, and we're going to factorize that. So, step 1, 2b over, I'm going to take out the highest common factor of b squared, and I'm going to be left with b minus 7 divided by 4b over difference of two squares. B plus 7, B minus 7. Okay, so marks 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to deal with our divide sign. We're going to say 2b over b squared, b minus 7, times, so keep the first fraction, change the sign, flip the second fraction, all over 4b. Okay, that b minus 7 is going to cancel with that b minus 7. So our numerator, we've got 2b times b plus 7. And our denominator, we've got b squared times 4b, which is going to be 4b cubed. Okay, so now we're almost finished. Now we just need to look at simplifying this 2b over this 4b cubed. So that's quite a bit of our exponent work that we started with at the beginning of last week. So the 2 and the 4 is going to cancel down to a half. And then I have 1b at the top and 3 b's at the bottom. So I'm going to be left with 2 b's at the bottom. So my final answer is going to be b plus 7. And you can keep it in brackets, but you don't have to, over 2b squared. And that is where our final answer would be. So you would get a mark for the b plus 7 and a mark for the 2b squared. So we'd be sitting on, we'd get a mark for changing that to a times. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 marks. It's a lot of marks. A lot of marks for a question like that.